Hello everybody, Mark with Midnight Snack Movies and Music. Back with you again today for a new video. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you've had an incredible weekend here as we push into the new week. Happy St. Patrick's Day to those who celebrate that, and I hope you guys are doing awesome. So if you caught my most recent video that I posted on the channel yesterday, I have rebranded the channel from The Nerdy Punk to Midnight Snack Movies and Music, and if you want more details about that, definitely hit up that video. But I wanted to basically rebrand the channel to reflect both of my main interests, which are movies, of course, and I will still be making lots of movie content, but I also wanted to find a way to incorporate music a little bit more into the channel, and today is the beginning of that. So this will be the first episode of a brand new series on the channel called the Midnight Snack Record Club. And basically I thought, you know, the idea behind this series is if I could start my own record club, like what records I would recommend that you guys listen to and pick up on vinyl. So I would show you my vinyl record copy of the album, but also talk about the album and my favorite tracks and why I love the album so much and why it's worthy of a listen for you guys. So my music taste has changed quite a bit since I last made regular music content on this channel. The last time I was really into making music stuff was I was basically obsessed with punk rock and alternative music, and I still am obsessed with punk rock and alternative music. I still love it. I would say it's probably still the thing that I listen to the most. Green Day is my favorite band of all time, and I still listen to them all the time. They were, I think, my number 3 or 4 artists last year. But the way I've listened to music has changed over time. I'm definitely primarily a streaming guy at this point, but I still love vinyl and CD, and I still break them out from time to time. But it has to be an album that I'm really obsessed with, you know, to really listen to it on vinyl. So today is going to be the first Midnight Snack Record Club video, and my first pick is Rust Never Sleeps from Neil Young and Crazy Horse. So Neil Young is an obsession that I've discovered since I last made music content on this channel. Probably about a year ago, roughly, would be my origin with Neil Young. So I've known who Neil Young is, of course, for all of this time. He's one of the most famous musicians on the planet, but never really listened to a whole lot of Neil Young stuff until recently, and have really become obsessed with his work. And I thought this was an iconic album that would be a perfect one to start the record club with. This album came out originally in 1979. It is, of course, one of the iconic albums by Neil Young with Crazy Horse. So he's his most common backing band in Crazy Horse. And this album, just in case you're not familiar with, I'm sure most of you are, but this album is basically half acoustic songs and half electric songs. And the electric half is live recordings that have been kind of overdubbed in the studio. So it's kind of reminiscent of Bob Dylan's Bringing It All Back Home, which of course started with an electric side and then finished with an acoustic side. It's kind of a similar vibe. And the title of the album, Rust Never Sleeps, is an iconic title. It's a perfect title to encapsulate what this album is about. Neil Young was basically, at this point, a little over a decade into his career. This was his 10th album, and he was starting to feel that kind of artistic rut where he was obsessed with continuing to innovate as opposed to staying in kind of that mindset of just keeping to crank out the songs that people like. He wanted to continue to push himself, to innovate, and continue to grow, because Rust never sleeps. And it's a title that can apply both to the artistic and creation experience, but also to our own lives. Like, aging never stops. At least that's my big takeaway here. You are constantly rusting. Rust never sleeps. You just gotta keep going, keep fighting, and keep trying, basically, is my key takeaway here emotionally for my own personal life experience. So I'll show you the record here. This copy that I have is a 2016 repress. from Reprise Records. There's the back and your track listing there. So side A is the acoustic side. It starts out with My Hey Hey, Out of the Blue, the original version, the acoustic version. Iconic song, perfect song to kick off the record. Lots of great lyrics on this album as a whole, but this song in particular has the pretty notorious lyric about how it's better to burn out than to fade away. And of course, Neil Young was talking about artistic creativity when it came to that line, but that line became notorious after it was cited in Kurt Cobain's suicide note, the lead singer of Nirvana, of course. So I know that had a pretty big impact on Neil and really kind of devastated him, that his lyrics would be used in that context, because the album and the lyrics are not obviously advocating for suicide, and that would be obviously a whole other story, whole other video. I'm sure Neil Young was not advocating for that at all. I know Kurt Cobain dealt with so much in his life that was not attributable to a Neil Young album, but of course Neil Young was a big influence on Kurt Cobain and the grunge music genre as a whole. And this album is really seen as one of the precursors to grunge. So if you're a grunge fan, you have to listen to this record. Like if you like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, you go down the list, you have to listen to this record because this had such a massive influence on those grunge era acts at the time. But yeah, it starts off with that song, which is incredible. Then you've got Thrasher, which is another great acoustic Neil Young song. Ride My Llama, which is, you know, kind of a sometimes skip for me. It has some good moments, but it's not as essential as some of the other tracks here. Pocahontas, which is one of Neil Young's best songs. Once again, acoustic, lots of great lyrics in that one, where he basically envisions himself having a conversation in the Astrodome with Marlon Brando, and he talks about Pocahontas, of course, and it kind of meanders through time a little bit, travels through time, and I thought that that's obviously an incredible song. And then it finishes the first side with Sail Away, which is another incredible, kind of mellower Neil Young song that really kind of lulls you into this false state of sleep, if you will, before it wakes you up with a bang on side 2, with personally one of my absolute favorite songs of all time in Powderfinger. Powderfinger is an incredible song, both thematically and in terms of execution. The guitar solos on Powderfinger are immaculate. I mean, they are some of my most famous, or some of my most favorite, musical moments of all time. You really just kind of get lost in those guitar solos, and Neil really takes you to another place with them. But lyrically, it's the perfect song to choose to kick off side 2, to really, you know, break off the rust, if you will, from the acoustic stuff and put you into that mindset with like a shot that comes out of nowhere. And of course, lyrically, the song deals with a young man, and it's not really specific about what time period or place that this story takes place. I always kind of envision it in my brain as like an ancient, or I shouldn't say ancient, but like a Native American with the Europeans kind of arriving onto the shore. So I'm thinking like 1500s, 1600s, Native Americans being basically attacked by Europeans. Now, that may not be what Neil Young intended. That's just what kind of the image that kind of comes up into my brain. But this young boy, he's dealing with an encounter with a ship. So a ship shows up on the shore. All of the men in the village have gone off hunting, or they've gone off on some sort of other excursion. And so he is like the oldest man that's still there. And it's this heartbreaking story of him trying to defend his village against this onslaught of attack from this boat. And it's harrowing, it's incredible lyrically, and the instrumentals fit so well with the epicness of that story. Powderfinger is an incredible song. It's one of the greatest songs of all time, maybe Neil Young's best. So I'm gonna go ahead and play you a quick needle drop from Powderfinger, and I'll be back to continue the discussion on this record. Okay, after Powderfinger, side 2 continues with the electric stuff. You've got Welfare Mothers, which in other contexts is one of Neil Young's weaker songs, I think, lyrically especially. I'm not a big fan of the lyrics on this song in particular, but once again, the instrumentals are incredible. The guitar solos towards the end of this song, they feel very intense, heavy for this type of music. You can really kind of feel the grunge influence on that particular song. Instrumentally, it's fantastic. Lyrically, it's kind of okay for me. But in the context of this record, I think it works really, really well. The next song here would be Sedan Delivery, another one that is pretty heavy instrumentally, and the instrumentals definitely carry it. The lyrics are once again kind of so-so. And then finally, the final track on here is a revisit of the first track. This is Hey Hey My, Into the Black. So this is the electric version of the opening song. It's kind of a reprise of the original. And I'm normally not a big fan of that, where they kind of revisit the same song twice, but this one is done in such a different, unique way, and it bookends the album so well that I think it really works in the context of this record. So this is a phenomenal record. Highly recommend you give this one a spin or a play on Apple Music or Spotify or whatever you use to get your music. Definitely recommend checking this one out and picking this one up on vinyl. I'll go ahead and show you the packaging of this release real quick. So it is a single record, no gatefold here. It comes with a couple posters, so we'll show you that first. So we've got the lyric sheet here with all of the lyrics for all of the songs. Nothing on the back. This is like a paper sheet. And then it comes with what I assume is the original inner sleeve for the record, with a great picture of Neil and the horse playing live. And then the back, another great live photo of Neil. So yeah, and this is a sleeve if you choose to use that for your record. I won't, because I prefer the poly-lined inner sleeves, which it also comes with, which is great. I got this one for Christmas, actually. This was a Christmas gift. And I believe this was ordered on Amazon. So if you happen to check this out and order it on Amazon, this is how it should come. There's your Reprise record label there. That would be side, what is that? That's side 2. That's the electric side. And then you've got side 1 with the labels. So yeah, a brilliant record from Neil Young. When I was thinking of, okay, how am I gonna start this record club? This is one that I think is a iconic record that everyone should have and should listen to at least once in your life. So I thought this was a perfect place to start. If you like grunge, of course, you should listen to this record. If you like 70s rock, you definitely should listen to this record. Classic rock at all, you definitely should listen to this record. And it blends everything that I love about Neil Young together. It's got his acoustic, slower moments, which, you know, I feel like there's kind of 2 modes for Neil Young that I go to. I either go to the kind of heartbreaking, slow songs, or I go to just the rip-roaring guitar distortion, you know, the loud stuff that I really love as well. And it's got both on here. So I think it's the perfect record to kind of introduce you to Neil Young if you haven't really listened to him too much before. So Rust Never Sleeps, Neil Young and Crazy Horse from 1979. This is my first pick in the Midnight Snack Record Club. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you're excited for the rest of the series. I will be up next week with another pick for the Midnight Snack Record Club. So stay tuned. Excited to share some more awesome music with you guys. And of course, for my movie fans, I will still have plenty of movie content. So stay tuned for that as well. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will catch you with you later. Bye.